Satnam and welcome. I'm Barnum Dave, and this is Yogic Living. As you can see, again, we were out here on this beautiful mountain, my home, and what we're going to be talking about today is positivity, thinking positive. So, let's talk a little bit about this. Now, a lot of people don't understand how much their vibration, how much their thought process affects what's going to happen around them, what draws things in. A lot of people think, especially out where I grew up in the Midwest, that what you think really doesn't matter. It's just like puffs in the wind. It doesn't mean anything. And sometimes it doesn't. The reason why it doesn't, or doesn't seem to, is because we have so many other thoughts running through our head, and we don't know how to laser focus those in to what we want, and therefore it doesn't manifest in our life. And we're led to believe that all this is randomness. Well, I've come to experience in my short lifetime that what you think can have an impact on this real world. So your thoughts are actually things. In magic, they call it thought forms. That's really what magic is. Magic is a concentrated thought that manifests and bursts into reality. Some people are better at it than others. It's because they worked on their mind. And so what I'm talking about today specifically is positive thinking and how that can affect your life. How, what can happen, if you think negatively. So let me talk about, first of all, my experiences when I moved up in this place. For those of you that don't know, I live up here in the Santa Ana Mountains. Probably about at least 5 miles away from most people. And so congregated in like where I was, in the city, there's a lot of other people, a lot of other energies, a lot of other vibrations. And so consequently, living down, somewhere like in a populous area, like where I was living in Orange County, California, where there is lots and lots of people. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'd have to say probably in the millions. There's a lot of people down there, at least thousands. And so when we're all down there, it's the energy becomes all muddled. And unless you can get a group of individuals, in a specific area, doing a specific thing, and then your energy becomes more concentrated. But be that as it may, so back to my story. So I moved up to the mountain, away from everybody, and I was living here, and I kept having issues with my vehicle. I tires would blow out. That stupid stuff would, like be wrong with it. Like, it seemed like about every month, at least one thing a month. And I noticed during that time that I was being very negative about this. I love this place. I've always loved it, but um, my situation in life at the time is not really where I wanted to be as far as financially, and so I would think about that in a negative way, and I've read these books and stuff and believed them, not blown them off and believed them because I've seen evidence of it. Like The Secret, Power of Positive Thinking, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, books like that. And, I know that, and like I said, I believe them and I've experienced them. I've experienced enough not just to have empty faith, but I've seen the evidence of it. I've seen it in work, I've seen it in manifestation. And but coming up here was like a whole different level because, like I said, there's less people, less energy. So I noticed my negative energy was bringing about these negative things in my life. And I wasn't focusing on these things, not like I used to. But I wasn't focusing on these things a lot. But that time I was focusing on them, it brought them about, and it brought about this negativity in my life. And so then when I adjusted that, my thinking, and it wasn't easy, and it took me a little while, then things started happening more on a positive scale. More things, no issues with my truck now. I haven't had any issues in my truck for a while now. It's been probably like at least a good 3 or 4 months since I've had like anything, you know, and thank God. uh, and because I'm still not in the best situation financially, but thank God that 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 I haven't had any issues. Um, but I've adjusted my thinking. I've adjusted my thought process, and so it really brought into light again how that can affect things. Another thing I want to bring up is my friend Thomas, or my friend who I'm calling Thomas. That's not his real name. Um, and I talk about him. I talk about this story more in detail in my book. If you want to know more about that, you can go ahead and purchase my book. But I, I was friends with him since middle school, and me and Thomas were real close. And we talked about these crazy occult things, these magics and stuff like that. And he was kind of like he's kind of like a library of knowledge, kind of very antiquity. I think he should have went to school for that and stuff, but that's a whole nother issue. But his thinking is totally screwed up. And of course, I don't know if you saw my numerology video yet, but uh, that's one of my challenges is the negative mind. One of his challenges too is the negative mind. Um, and so, and actually, his is in his soul category, where mine is in my karma. So mine's a little bit worse than him, but at the same time, he's connected to it because it is his soul in a weird, very unhealthy way. And I haven't spoken to the guy in years, unfortunately. because he stopped talking to me. But be that as it may. Uh, but anyways, he connected to this negativity so much that he actually manifested uh, physical beings, physical monsters into this worm, like these shadow creatures, and that's how detrimental this can be. This thinking correctly, you know, I I'm sure a lot of people, are not that have not strayed that much, but it your numbers can affect you in these strange ways, and if you're not working on yourself towards to grow and to be a better person, then you tend to go you could tend to go either one way or the other. And unfortunately, he went the negative route because, like I said in the numerology video, the negative mind can be turned into, in the positive aspect of it, the protective mind, where you can sense danger. You can totally sense danger and not manifest danger. Like he did. So that's the power of your mind. Now, like I said, like I said at the end of my book, some of these things I've experienced, I wouldn't have believed them myself if I hadn't experienced them. And if you're having a hard time believing that somebody can manifest shadow monsters, I don't blame you. It sounds far off and bizarre and something that could only happen in a movie. But I've experienced it in real life. I've seen it. I saw it. I saw one of these things. And it freaked me out. It wasn't good. It didn't have good energy. Let me tell you. So that is the power of our mind. So now, like I said, I've read these books, The Secret, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, and like I said, I believed them at the time, definitely, and still, practice some of those things. But it didn't really help me to tackle that that aspect, that to conquer that negative mind and make it into the protective mind. The only thing that did that was yoga. So, what are some techniques that I found personally that worked for me? Well, I started doing the 1 minute breath, especially since my friend's sister moved in with us. Now she's another piece of negativity, and I don't recall what her numerology is off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's got some twos in there. Um, but at any rate, she was another ball of negativity, and she had to move in with us because of again, financial issues. I broke my leg, and I was pretty much bringing in the majority of the money to pay for the mortgage, and I broke my leg, and so my friend Jesus had his sister move in. Um, so that she could help out with things as financially, and put her in a little better situation, helped her to save up a little money and stuff. Um, but in order to deal with her, I needed to practice the 1 minute breath so I wouldn't lose my temper with her. And so, what the 1 minute breath is, if you don't know, and I went over it in one of my videos. Um, But you inhale 20 seconds, you hold your breath for 20 seconds. Well, actually, you suspend your breath, you don't hold it. And then you exhale for 20 seconds. Now, the difference between holding your breath and suspending your breath is different. So if you hold your breath, most people think of that's holding your breath. Well, that's not good. That actually puts more stress on your body and your lungs and everything. What you do when you suspend your breath is you inhale and you use your diaphragm to lock the air in, and you keep your nasal passage open, because when you hold your breath, you close your nasal passage. Of course, when you do this, you're definitely closing your nasal passage, but you're going to suspend the breath, and then you're going to gently exhale for 20 seconds. And it takes some practice. It's not an easy thing, but I've noticed, since doing that, now I don't lose my temper as easy. And when I do, I can recover from it a lot quicker. I can cool down a lot quicker. I have that time to think, because if you can control your breath, you can control your mind. And when I found that, for me at any rate, especially one of the things that I'm that kind of happened to me is I very much brood on things. So I think about things and think about things, and then it kind of manifests and gets this snowball action out of control. And doing the 1-minute breath has helped me to remedy that. I don't do that so often anymore. Especially I can't. Now, when you live up here, you don't want to brood over negative things. Brood over positive things. Boy, you bring more positivity into your life, more wealth, more love into your life. One of the other things that can help you out is, again, like I mentioned in the numerology video, and I've done it over at least a couple different videos, this mantra, Sare Sasa. It's called the Antanad mantra. That's one of the names for it. Another name for it is Kavach mantra. Kavach means armor, because it builds about a psychic armor about you, your psychic protection. It's one of the aspects of it. Also brings luck into your life. But one of the main reasons I chant it is because it helps you to turn that negative mind into the protective mind. And also works with your subtle body as well. And if you remember from the numerology video, I have a 2 and a 9 in my numerology. So the 2 is the negative mind, and 9 is the subtle body. And Sare Sasa, Sare Sasa, Sare Sasa Sarang, Harare Hara Hara, Harare Hara Hara, Harare Hara Hara Hararang. Works on both those bodies. Alright, well, that's all I have to say about this for now. Sat Nam. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, of course, subscribe. And if you want to be notified next time I upload one of these things, go ahead and hit that bell icon down there. Alright, well, like I said a little bit earlier in the video, I did write a book. It's about my spiritual journey. It's about why a white boy like me started wearing one of these things on my head. And all the adventures and misadventures and dealings with things like demons and trolls and all sorts of other crazy stuff happened to me. And the story about that. Alright, Sat now.